Hi there, this is Dr. John Whitcomb talking for News and Nutrition about how to fix autism. Yes, really. If you look at my last three postings, we've reviewed the pathology and we know the physiology. In brief, it goes as follows. For whatever inflammatory reason, possibly eating high-calorie foods, particularly sugars, we overwhelm fragile mitochondria, and they can't handle the amount of calories, which turns into the amount of free electrons being pushed through their electron transport chain. And so electrons are sometimes particles and sometimes waves, and so your proteins can't always reliably handle them. If there are too many, some escape. They become reactive oxygen species. You have all sorts of methods to cure that and fix it and repair that, but when there's so many, some of that gets away. Those reactive oxygen species overwhelm your ability to neutralize. So catalase gets overwhelmed, glutathione gets overwhelmed, and we finally make the hydroxyl ion, and the hydroxyl ion is wicked. It attacks membranes, and particularly double bonds and plasmalogens, which are wrapping the axons, making the myelin in your brain. And when that double bond gets attacked, you make malonaldehyde. And that is a potent messenger to turn on the garbage trucks of your brain. And they get turned on. And when you turn them on, they're called microglia. They start killing or damaging and stripping the axons, so you get demyelination. You can prove each of those steps, and particularly now with the MRI scanner, we can show an MRI scanner showing that the autistic brain has demyelination going on, and there's an inappropriate increase in cellular water. And when you damage demyelination, when you damage myelin and damage axons, you can't transmit messages as rapidly. There's clear evidence that the more myelin density you have, the more resilient your brain is and the faster it conducts things. So small children who only have a couple layers of myelin, because they're just developing, are much more vulnerable to autism than older adults. So older adults actually present with demyelination in different forms. We call one of them multiple sclerosis, we call another manic depressive disease, we call another schizophrenia. Those are all forms of demyelination. Those are for another talk. What's the program? How do we fix it? Well, the first thing is probably to stop eating so much sugar, probably fructose in particular. And a high sugar diet is one that easily overwhelms the mitochondria. A1 milk might make inflammation. Wheat is probably making inflammation. We haven't proven vaccines to make inflammation, but certainly there's many parents claim that they have some. Good studies seem to prove that vaccines don't cause it. That's certainly not the main cause. But then we can repair mitochondria and make them more resilient. And you can do that with a bunch of supplements. For example, you can add antioxidants like NAC, so it makes more glutathione to protect the mitochondria. Carnitine, acetyl L-carnitine, helps you shuttle calories appropriately into the mitochondria. All the B vitamins help. For CoQ10 helps, but B1, B2, B3 all help. Those are all mitochondrial support. And they're all going to be mixed in a special milk coming in about a month or so. So we're going to get a flavored milk that's going to be completely having all these things mixed in it. So you don't have to take them individually for children. That's step one. Step two is we have to support methylation support, because there's something about when those microglia get attacked, they basically turn on glutamate excretion, and glutamate floods inside the cell, which is how it kills the cell that it's attacking, and it uses up and shuts down your natural methylation system. Well, methylation is curiously when you take a methyl group and it turns a circular pump inside of your neurons that pump neurotransmitter down the neuron. So if your methylation system is broken, your brain isn't transmitting. Okay, another challenge for the autistic brain. So supporting the methylation system is critical. And you can do that by taking B12 and folate, okay, because those are the vitamins that donate methyl groups. You can take betaine, trimethylglycine, because that's a way of giving more methyl groups to your mitochondria to work with. And then the B vitamin, again, it's all the B vitamins that support and help that methylation process. So, but egg yolk lecithin is, or choline, is a very expensive molecule to make. And so you need choline in your brain, but it takes 4 methyl groups to make it. So if you take egg yolk lecithin, you're decreasing the demand side of methylation. And if you take creatine for your muscles, creatine also takes 4 methyl groups. So those two reduce the demand on the methylation system and leave more for pumping neurotransmitters. So that's methylation support. Okay, but the real goal is give your body the tools to rebuild and remethylate. And that's where Dr. Goodenow's genius has come through. His product called Microglia will give the baby's brain or the child's brain the plasmalogen building blocks to make their own plasmalogens. And what Dr. Goodenowe has discovered successfully is how to get it into the brain and how to have an impact, so based on easily achievable oral doses. So Microglia is now being made available, and in fact everybody participates in the trial for the next couple months is going to get 1 month free Microglia, and in 1 month you will feel and see symptoms improving in your child. Now, this isn't a cure for autism. This is repairing the damage that can't quite it's tipping the needle back to fixing, as opposed to the endless cycle of can't quite catch up. The autistic brain has inflammation that keeps remaking more inflammation, it's a self-sustaining gyre you can't escape. But once you've escaped that gyre and started repairing the brain, now the brain can do what it's meant to do, and that is learn culture, love, trust, language, school. All those things become possible, but they take time. This child has not had the chance to learn them, and so they need to learn to play with their siblings. They need to learn to trust their family and love their family. And if you watch the women who've had children who've gotten better so far and how happy they are, you'll want your child to be too. Is this been proven in a randomized placebo-controlled trial of millions of people? No. But these are supplements that have no side effect, no toxicity, and nothing but great promise. This is a Nobel Prize in the making. We're going to cure autism. Dr. Whitcomb for News and Nutrition. Get it done.